Hello and welcome. Good morning. This is FRL Season 14 Awards with me, O Stephen 002 and CPI Bunty. Hello.
Hello, hello. Always nice to be here at the end of the season and have a look through the previous season. So, going to be a good one.
Hope you're all well there in the stream. Right, let's crack on with these awards. Let's get them over. We'll start with our pre-season season 14 predictions with me and Bunty earlier on this season. Let's see how we got on. We'll start with F1, and here we go. This is what Bunty predicted. Do you want to?
Ah, yes. Okay. It's got them up now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, last season coming into it, we just had season 13, I think, where Jensen won F1, and it was a pretty dominant title. So, as you can see, the predictions, some of them went pretty wrong across the tiers. But starting with F1, obviously, predicted Jensen to win the title, which he missed out on. Not by too much, but he came second. Macho probably underperformed quite a bit this season. And then, of course, in third and fourth, you got Baraka and Lou, who obviously dropped out, I think, with a couple races to go. But um, Lou could be making a return. Not too sure, but that'll be interesting. But Shane Baraka obviously left. Med TC as well. He's always kind of been the upper mid pack, if you like, of real life. Probably someone like a Norris or
Mhm.
or I guess a knock on. He's always been towards the top of that midfield. Callum massively put him way, way, way too high. He in the end couldn't make half the races, so obviously he dropped down to reserve. Then you got Jonah, who I think I might have been spot on with. Checking the F1 standings, Jonah came sixth, so I was just one place off. But obviously he went no assist as well, so that dropped him probably down a couple positions late on in the championship. Physico as well. I think it's quite easy to predict him in the midfield. I think he finished slightly lower than A. He finished 12th in the end. So
Mhm.
probably not one of his finest of the seasons, but it was very tough competition. And then Kazizla as well in ninth. He made, I think, the first couple of races. He won the first race of the season, then faded away because he just couldn't make many races. He came 13th. And then Ruti Hullett. This was a quite awful one. He obviously finished third in the standings, and he won quite a few races. He won two races with 3 second places as well. So massively underrated him. And then you have Sabi, who didn't make a single race, if I'm not mistaken. So silly us for giving a full time seat. But yeah, that was my predictions for F1. And I mean, as you can see across the other tiers, it was relatively alright. I mean, oh, Stephen, anyone's pointing out at you which went very well or very wrong?
Yeah, in F1, looking at the league table and the winner, Montana, he actually joined for the second race of the season and basically dominated it. And as in the comments, as we see, James Head is getting the blame for it, for bringing him back. But no, we always need good drivers, and Montana's all in FRL. He's always been the dominant force for everyone to beat, to be honest, because he's so good. And yeah, we all aspire to be that Montana one day. He's like the Lewis Hamilton of FRL. I'm sure that's going to really go down well with all these Dutch drivers watching. But yeah, um, Montana we got had with 251 points. That's 51 points clear of previous season's winner Jensen on 200 points. And then we had Rudy Cullett on 162. So I think that's his debut season. So to finish third
Mhm.
in your debut season, which is no mean feat. And as we can see, there's our world champion Montana. The graphic just come up there. So yeah, that's our top three. And as you said, the predictions were some were spot on and some were nowhere
Mhm.
near. But yeah, that's F1 drivers. If we move on to F2 and the predictions,
they're
basic.
all right-ish, apart
Yeah.
from what
Well,
we won't.
we won't delve too much into F2 as neither did some of the drivers for the part of the season. DRA Robin West, you had in first place. Speldenar second, Buelow in third. Charlie, I think, did finish high, but I don't think he was fourth. Mirren in fifth. Watermelon sixth, and Dylan in seventh. Basmati eighth, Arno ninth, Michael F1 10th, and Pelly 11th. As we look at the winner of F2,
Mr. Flex, obviously.
yes, Mr. Flex, aka Parrot, is our world champion. As you can see by the graphic, he likes to be a sheep. But
He had a good
F2,
season.
yeah,
He
he
had a
had a
very.
good consistent season. F2,
I think Flex really was very consistent. I don't think there's probably been a more consistent driver in F2. You have to look back quite a few seasons back to maybe the likes of, I don't know, Macho in season 7, because apart from the DNF and obviously Austria, he never finished outside the, oh, and Azerbaijan, so 3 races excluded. He always finished inside the top 6, and the amount of podiums he got with 5 third places, 4 wins, 1 second place. It just shows you how
yeah,
consistently he was on the podium. He was more on the podium than off it. So just to like the other drivers who were trying to catch him, must have been so demotivating to be never making up points on the Mercedes man who drove it like it was a realistic car. Because
yeah.
Mercedes, as we'll see, obviously won constructors as well. But yeah, great championship for Flex. Obviously fully deserved, and interesting to see where he goes next season. But F3 as well was quite interesting to say the least.
Yeah, as I just got the F2 league table up, we can see Flex finished. Sorry, not Flex. Parity likes to be called, not Flex. But 231 points he finished on. Nick finished on 195. It would have went down to Brazil, but unfortunately Nick couldn't drive in the last race of the season, which would have been good to us because, as you can see from the table, Nick finished strongly, and then we had Charlie in third place. You had him in fourth place, so at least you got one, I think, right near enough by one
Yeah,
place. Charlie finished third. If he didn't retire so much in the season, as well as having crashes and bad luck, he would have ran Parrot close. Dundee finished in fifth. Pelly, if he didn't miss 3 races during the middle of the season, he would have been up there as well. He finished strongly with a third and second place in Brazil and Mexico after the stewards findings this week, because he did actually finish the race first, but obviously the stewards have overturned that decision. He finished on the same points as Ed Zacht, who won his first race in FRL F2 at USA, which I was really rather pleased about because he's not an FRL veteran, but he always turns up every week and he drives consistently. Even though he's probably not one of the top F2 drivers as yet, but who knows on the
yeah.
new game. Then we have Watermelon, Buelow, Pepin, Robin West, Michael F1, Jacko, and Borderboard. Right. Going on to F3 now. Let's have a look.
The predictions were maybe a little bit ball boy favoured, to say the least, but
Yeah,
we will
because
see in a second.
as we seen, Ball Boy was in F2, but he sandbagged the pre-season, so he went down to F3. As he keeps saying, you should have put the safety car on. But yeah, F3. Do you want to take it away with the
Yeah,
predictions?
I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of the predictions, I'll just get the F3 standings up. But obviously, Bullboy did not win the F3 championship to all the GTA followers he has.
Mm,
He did finish in the end 7th, and he missed 2 races as well. So it was a bit of an odd Bullboy season, fairly consistent as usual. And we'll see later on in awards. He was nominated for being most consistent. He finished 3 times outside the top 10. So yeah, probably a little bit ambitious to put him in first place. But second place, I got spot on. The VIP GTA game, he was runner up in F3 this season, and I got that predicted right. So therefore, champion from last season just about couldn't win their F3 title. It would have been great to see him win 2 in a row because it's so difficult to go to F3 and pull it off. I mean, as so many drivers know, because this F3 has been around a good 6 seasons now. So anyone who's been to F3 knows it's like if you like in a football, it's in the, like being in a championship. It's just so closely matched, very kind of elbows out. But in terms of Evo, I got that not too far off. He obviously won the championship. Evo Ajax changed his name to FRL Evo. That
Yeah,
might have helped. I like to say, but
yeah.
Niels and Sadio, they were more or less correct. Sadio came fourth, predicted him fifth, not too bad. And then Niels, maybe I mean, he definitely underperformed. He retired 3 times in a season. He qualified always very high, or he was very fast on time trial in practice, but he can never really convert it, sadly, to the results. But he did win in Saudi, as we'll see later on in the awards. Rackler, Oliver, Jesse. I think Oliver wasn't too bad, and he actually missed quite a few races towards the end of the season and still was ninth in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have been maybe fighting in that top 5 of the championship if he made a couple races. But I know he had a son. And then obviously Jesse, Mike Van Doncaster, and Demoniac. Drivers, I was more or less spot on with. Demoniac obviously dropped out with 4 races left, but I expect him to return. But yeah, not too shabby if I do say so myself.
Yep, as we can see quickly with the league table, like you said, we had Evo on 241 points, followed by VTBI GTA Gamer in second, Yuri in third, Sadio Mano in fourth, Sen fifth, Rackler sixth, Ballboy P7. So from first to seventh in F3 is, and there's a story behind his 2 races that he missed. He was actually frightened of a mouse. So yeah, that's why he couldn't race those 2 races. So
That's
if
interesting, yeah.
so, yeah. Ruben in eighth, Oliver in ninth, and Alpha King in 10th. So, like F2, you're right with some and not so right with others. But yeah, as we head on to F4,
This was a good one for sure.
F4 predictions. We had Pippo in first, which I think you got right, but we'll look at the league table shortly. Ties in second, Evil Zook third, Rally in fourth, me in fifth, Cryptic sixth, Kostya seventh, Hazard Deco in eighth, RVD ninth, and in 10th and Evolvo 11th. So let's have a look at the winner. And it was Pippo, who I did say at the start of the season would win it through his
Hmm.
pace and consistency, but it was never heard. Anyway, we'll move on from that. The league table, as we can see, Pippo finished on. As I get the league table up, actually.
155, 4 more than Montana, but obviously F4, a bit
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, 200. If you look across the whole 14s, it was about 250, 240, all the points, actually. It was a close 11-point gap to Kostya, who finished second, who you had down in
6th, I think.
seventh.
7th.
So you weren't too bad with that. Pippo finished in first. There we go. Kostya finished second. Evil Zook in third, which you got right. Ties in fourth, which I don't think you had on any prediction there. I don't think. Let me have quickly.
Oh, no, I think I did Adam
Ties,
second. So
ties,
two
ties. Oh
places
yes,
off.
sorry, second. Yeah. Taj you had him fourth on 201. Then you had me in fifth, which you got spot on.
Yeah.
Hazard Deco in sixth. Was he sixth? No, you had him down in eighth, which wasn't too bad.
Mm.
Your idea seventh, Texrex eighth, Resolute Rally in ninth. A few new drivers as well coming in there. Evolvo 11th. I think got you got him out right actually, 11th as well. Andy in 10th, and he finished 12th on 32 points. So that wraps up the league tables for the drivers. Let's have a look at the constructors winners. If I get the F1 back up again. The constructors is, there we go. We've got Alpha Tauri finishing F1 on 289 points, followed by Alpine on 252, and the wooden spoon went to the Scuderia Ferrari. The constructors
Cool.
was won by Montana and Cazizzo for the Alpha Tauri team. So, and a good pairing for F1 there.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, Cazizzel started it, but he handed the reins over to Rocco, and Rocco, once again, being about in FRL so long, he knows how
Yeah,
to win. Well, he hasn't won, I don't think, maybe. He might have won Constructors' Championship. I'm thinking Bull Boy in F2, maybe seasons 5, but in the Williams. But I don't think he's won a driver's standing, so this could be his first or second title in terms of obviously winning the Constructors. But Kazizel there as well. Obviously, he's been about just at AlphaTauri, just stuck with talent in terms of drivers. But they didn't start with either of these drivers. Obviously, they started with Kazizel, and I think it was Bombastic, who only made 3 races. So that it could have been much worse for AlphaTauri, unless the Swissman until he came in, obviously.
hmm. So yeah, because someone put in the comments, because it was so good he raced a Sun order. Right, F2. Let's see who won F2 constructors. There's a driver's Parrot, and the constructors run by the Mercedes parent of Parrot and Watermelon.
Yeah, good season.
So there we go. Parrot and Watermelon finished in first, and Haas in second on 231 points. And the unfortunate Aston Martin team finished in last place on 58 points, so they get the wooden spoon for F2.
Looking through F2 just quickly on the standings,
Yeah.
Mercedes in season 5, since season 5 of F2, it's quite a while back. They've
Mm-hmm.
only been actually improving their results. They went from 10th to 7th to 5th in the standings in season 7, obviously second with myself and Mads, and then in season 9 they finally get it. So it's been a long time coming for Mercedes to win a constructors in F2, but Flex and Watermelon did it, and did it with a quite healthy gap as well, 100 points. So Watermelon obviously playing a big part in Flex, helping Flex. So those two obviously very strong teammates.
Indeed, and who knows what the new game's going to bring out for Mercedes in F2. Right, as we head on to F3, the winners in F3 were Evo and Jesse. As we get the
Both
table up.
FRL.
Yep, I just need to get the table up for F3. Yep, there we go. F3 league table there, and
Quite
again,
close actually.
yeah,
Look,
we had Mercedes again winning on
very
297 points, with Aston Martin in second on 244 points.
I think Mercedes are obviously winning 2 of the 4 titles, F2 and F3. But Jesse as well in Evo, they work really quite well together. Jesse playing just the team, kind of the second player to obviously Evo, and didn't win it by a lot. The top 3 were only separated by 60
Yeah,
points, so it could have swung a different way if there was just one DNF there, or even teammates collide, which never really happens. But you kind of could think and dream it. Then
yeah,
obviously it could have ended up with the Aston Martins winning the title with VIP and Niels, but it wasn't meant to be, and very close though.
yep. but unfortunately in F3, the Haas team finished with a wooden spoon on a lowly 56 points, 9 points behind the McLaren team. So, F4, the winners in F4 constructors was, I should know anyway because it was me and Evil Zook for the Scuderia Ferrari team. And as you can see, the greatest of all time, Michael Schumacher and Evil Zook there, as I get the league table up as well.
Second F4 title for Ferrari as well. You've won two of the three, and you've been in all three F4 titles. You've been always in the top two. So
Well,
Ferrari quite a force in F4. It's
that
going quite well for them.
yeah, that's a nice start. I didn't know, but yeah, my last F4 constructors win in Ferrari was in another league that we shouldn't mention with my good old friend T Hawk, as we got
Oh,
constructors title for Ferrari back in the day.
obviously, all bloods are say GHR, where you actually
Yeah,
won a race in Belgium, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, which
Crazy.
doesn't count in FRL, but yeah, we move on, and I'm still 3,000 odd days winless streak, but we'll get a win someday somehow, or
We
maybe
will.
like you said, it's just not meant to be.
I never said that. Nah, you will. You will eventually, for sure.
Yep. Right. Ferrari on 350 points. It was a comfortable last couple of rounds, really, because
Mhm.
people DNF'd and whatever, and we were just consistently good over the season. Me and Evil Zook. Haas in second place, Williams in third, and unfortunately, the lowest points total in all the teams, I think, was McLaren on 49 points only in 16
Shocking.
rounds. Yeah. But yeah,
Who was
that
in the McLaren? Was it, let's see,
uh,
Louis Yu and,
Mockingjay was it and stuff at
well,
the
Mockingjay's, I
start.
think, started, but
Yeah, there was quite a
there were
few.
so many drivers. That's the thing. If you don't have two drivers who are
Yeah,
obviously properly full time, you're just
I
going
think
to fall through the standings.
yeah, and I think most of the later rounds were just filled by reserves, like Pablo Suarez, which is Cameron Barber. I think he did the last few rounds as well for them.
Hmm.
Costa says Numenoid carried Haas this season. Uh, Shumi and Kaneki says Evil Zook. So I'm assuming Kaneki is him, whoever
Yeah,
that
I
is.
mean, for Odyssey, I guess Evil Zook played first drive, but to be fair, you
Yeah,
missed two races. If you made those races, I guess you could have
yeah,
been even more secure in the constructors and taken a few more risks because I guess that's what you were focusing on in terms of constructors. But strong pairing for Ferrari, you and Zook. But next season, Zook will be gone, so you'll have to choose a new teammate. So it'll be interesting.
yeah. The plot thickens with a new teammate. I am open to offers in the Scuderia Ferrari, so any F4 drivers watching, I shall be reviewing everyone's
Invitations. Yeah.
invitations very closely, so to speak. But anyway, that's for another day. Our rewards then. That's the league tables done. Our award ceremony in the nominations for the awards, as I get it up on my phone. I'm so professional, aren't I? Pins. The F1 will start with most
Shall I do
improved.
F1 or do you want to do
Yeah, I'll
F2?
do the nominations. Oh yeah, you can do the nominations, and I'll put
Yeah,
the
sure, sure.
graphics up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in
Most
terms of
most
yeah, most
improved.
improved. Most improved in terms of F1, obviously. Surprisingly, it was quite a tough one because obviously you don't have many drivers, which was quite surprising, actually improving on their points from last season. So it was up between Misipala, Tom, and Ruti, and in the end, of course, as I'll have to check, I believe it was Ruti who
No,
won.
it was Tom.
Oh no, it was Tom. I need to find the graphics as well. It was Tom who was the most improved. Do you know what? I'll leave you to do
Sorry, that was the
F1 for
best
the F1.
newcomer actually. Where's most? Oh, Rooty. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Rooty.
Mm. And
Got
then obviously the
got.
F1 best. The next one I think is I'll let you take care of it. I'll just try and find the graphics.
Yeah, the most improved was Rooty Cullet with 69.2%. Then the best new. That's wrong. Why is this slides all wrong? Most improved was Rooty Cullet with 69.2%. The next best F1 teammates. These are all wrong.
Yeah, we'll go with the flow. We'll see how it is.
Yeah, because I've gone. The what you've put is F1 is different compared to F4. The categories and stuff. So, right, the most improved. We'll just go with the F4 then. So, best newcomer was Tom on 61.5%. The most improved was Rudy Gullett. So then the most consistent in F1 was Montana with 69.2%. And as we've seen by the league tables, he finished in first place. And the next award for F1 was Best Teammate, it should be. Yes, and it was Barack and Lou with 38.5% of the votes. So that was good for them. And the next one at the award for biggest bottle, which was a fun category to see, and it was medium traction control got 38.5% of the vote. I don't think he'll be happy with that. People voting for him, and especially because it's Bottas as well, who is reputedly the biggest bottle in F1.
Oh no.
So he won't be happy with that at all.
No, no, no.
But it's just a bit of fun, that category.
Yes.
The next one we have is the best qualifier, which obviously is Montana with 69.2% of the vote. And the one after that is the cleanest driver, which went shared between QRT Jonah and David Enshaw, which is surprisingly 43.8% of the votes. So that was good for them. The next one is the best performance, and it was Macho getting 69.3%. And I think that track is Singapore.
Yeah.
I think Ty didn't put the track, so I'm going to struggle with the tracks to be honest. But I think that
Yeah.
was Singapore there. So that was good for him, and he finished first that race. So it would have been interesting to see where he started that race actually in the graphic to where he finished for the best performance of the season in F1. But yeah, congratulations to him on that. And the best race in F1 was round 16, the Brazilian Grand Prix, with 61.5% of the votes. So that's really good, that, for F1. Right, the best newcomer in F2.
I've got this up now, so I can take over. Don't you worry.
All right,
Okay.
you do F2 then.
If you can follow, hopefully, see if
Yep,
there's any.
yep,
Well, F2 best newcomer. I see. Once again, there wasn't too many newcomers into FRL. Not drivers being promoted, just simply joining FRL. You had Pepjin, Tygo, and Will, and obviously the winner was in the end. I think it was shared between
yeah.
Pepjin and Will, with both 45.5%. So once again, another double victory in terms of best newcomer for F2 terms of F2 most improved. This one was actually I was excited to see what the drivers would vote. It was between Dundee, who improved obviously massively, Nick, and Pelly, who had some very strong results. And in the end, it was decided it was Nick who was most improved with 45.5%, and probably well deserved after having a pretty, if I do say so, stinky last season, but then coming second was massive improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most consistent driver in terms of F2 was between Flex, Nick, and Edzak. and as champions do, Flex actually won 100% of the vote, and he was called the most consistent, which is probably only fair. And then for the best teammates, it was between McLaren, so Jacko and Charlie, Mercedes, which was Flex and Watermelon, and Ferrari, which was Edzak and Michael F1. And the best teammates, it was decided were Mercedes, once again, Flex and Watermelon. Flex winning another award with 81.8%, so quite dominant again. And for the F2 biggest bottler, I'm not sure. Maybe Bureau might win this one, or Robin or Charlie, but those were the nominees. Charlie was a bit ruthless, but I will throw Zook under the bus and say he recommended it. But it was in the end Charlie who did win an award tonight, and it was also Buelow as well with 36.4%. So Charlie and Buelow, who knows, they could be happy or very sad. And Charlie though was also nominated for the best qualifier with Charlie, Dundee, and Flex, who were all the nominees. And the best qualifier was decided in F2 by Charlie with 45.5%, the McLaren driver himself. And then F2, cleanest driver. Obviously, you always want to win this category. And it was Flex, Charlie, and Pelly. All drivers with 0 penalty points, but it could only be one, but it was actually two. It was Pelly and Flex who both won with 36.4% of the votes, sharing the votes equally. And then the best one-off race was between Michael F1, who got a podium in Baku, his I think only podium of the season, Buelow, who won Imola, and Senna Games, who I didn't even know was an F2. As shameful as it is to say that. In USA, he got second. And in terms of the best one-off race, it was decided Michael F1, who got third place in Baku. The Ferrari man won with 54.5%. And lastly, the best race, it was agreed that it was Belgium with 50% of the votes. And that is F2. And I'll pass you back to Mr. O'Stephen.
Yeah, some good winners there for F2. As a whole, F2 wasn't a bad season, and yeah, well done on Paraton getting his maiden FRL Championship victory
Mm.
that season in F2. Hopefully, next season it will be better than this season, and we get more drivers turning up every week. But it was a joy to commentate on. Some interesting races, to say the least, as well as late safety cars and lots of drama, including lots of last lap excitement, so to speak. But yeah, hopefully next season will be better in F2. Right, let's crack on with F3 and the most improved, as I should get the nominees up for F3. 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 Do you want to say the nominees for F3?
Sure. So for F3, this one a lot of people voted for, so this was
Oh yeah,
going to be
most
a very
improved. There we go. I've got it now.
yeah.
Sorry. We've got
Okay.
Sadio Mano, Rackler, and Ruben, and the winner of that is best newcomer Maciel, Dan Messi, and Motti for best newcomer, and it was actually Maciel. I hope I've said his name right with 50% of the votes. So yeah, that's good for him. I don't know an awful lot about him, so hopefully he can progress next season in F3. The most improved, like I've just said, is Sadio Mano, Rackler, and Ruben, and the winner is Sadio Mano with 64.3% of the votes. Sadio Mano returned this season from a couple of seasons absence, I think, or like more regularly, so to speak. He's been a good driver in F3 over the years, and he deservedly gets the votes from his fellow drivers. As the next one is most consistent, I think. Yep, and it's FRL Evo got 50% of the votes there for his consistency across F3. Evo, Sen, and Ballboy were the nominees in that one, and Evo won it. Best three teammates, we have Mercedes with Evo and Jesse, Alpha Alpine with Ruben and Sadio, and Aston Martin with VIP and Niels. So the winner of that award was Evo and Jesse with 64.3% of the votes on that one. The next category we have is best teammates, F3 biggest bottle,
Ooh.
and the three biggest bottles are Niels, Dan Messi, and Jesse. It's a bit harsh on Jesse, but yeah. The biggest bottle winner was FRL Niels Arno. Got
Hey.
69.2% of the votes. So take that as you will, a compliment or a bit of criticism or a boot of the backside, so to speak, to get better in the next game. The next category we have is best qualifier, and again we've got Niels, Ruben, and Jury for the nominations, and the winner of that is FRL Yuri with 85.7% of the votes. Wow, that's a big landslide for the best qualifier. F3's cleanest driver was Scar, JB, and Matey Boy, all three veterans of F3 here. So, if it's cleanest driver, you would assume that it would be the FRL head steward with 53.8%. I think FRL would be in disarray if we didn't have the head steward as the cleanest driver.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure some F3 drivers would disagree with the votes on that one, but yeah, judging by the steward reports every week and incidents in F3, but yeah, Sky wins the award for that. F3 best one-off performance. The nominations is JB Belgium in third, Jesse Monza in first, and Niels in Saudi Arabia in first. And the winner of that is Jesse with 50% of the votes round Monza. So yeah, that's a good performance from him. And the next award for F3 is best one-off performance. The best race, the final category in F3 is Belgium, Hungary, and Canada, and the winner of that is Belgium with 50% of the votes. So that was F3 saw this season, in which Evo won the championship, if I remember the league table.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, a few of the Dutch boys will be going up to the new game in F2, and hopefully we'll get better, pace depending.
And then we come on to F4.
Yep, the F4 awards. Right, this is the ones that I've got right.
Okay, so the best newcomer of
Yep,
F4, there were the three nominees of Hazard,
yep.
Texrex, and Ignelis. Hopefully, I pronounced that as well, right? And the winner of F4, the best newcomer, was Texrex with 52.6%. He obviously got a podium in both USA and Mexico, so that was quite good for him. And then most improved for F4 was between Kostya, Zook, and Ties. And this one is quite personal because all of them obviously will say they improved a lot. But it was actually a draw. It was Tyson and Evil Zook with 38.9%. So they can both win. But it's a bit sad on Pippo. And then the most consistent was between yourself, O Stephen, Pippo, and Zook. And Pippo didn't win the most improved, but he does win the most consistent. He wins with 42.1%. He was the most consistent driver of F4, and obviously he was the champion.
Well, judging by the graphic, we had Evil Zook and Pippo on 41.2% on most consistent.
Anyway, we will move on to F4 best teammates. Ferrari, obviously, with Zook and Steven. Haas with Umnoid and Kostya. And AlphaTauri with Titan and Volvo. and the winners were Ferrari with on my screen at least, as I try and find it, it was 78.9%. But with the way the votes were, it might have slightly changed. But
Yeah.
obviously, you win the award of the night. And then the biggest bottle award. Some will want to win this. I'm sure this man will want to win this. It was between Zapor, Your Idea, and Lewis. And the man who obviously got banned for a season, it was Lewis with 52.6%, who wins an award as well tonight. And then the best qualifier was between Kostya, Pippo, and Zook. And this one was one of the more dominant ones. Kostya was given best qualifier. Took a lot of polls and he wins with 68.4%. Followed by an award you do truly want to win. It is the cleanest driver. Once again, you were nominated. Humanoid as well, and Your Idea. Your Idea misses out, and so does Humanoid. And it was yourself, O Stephen, who wins your second award of tonight with 57.9% of the votes. And then it was the best one-off race. So if you have awful race and then just one good one, you will be nominated. And it was Hazard in Canada, which is a bit of a surprise because I thought he was a fast driver. But it was Hazard in Canada with first. Saki, who only made 2 races, and Britain, he got third. And then Andy, who in Australia, he got second place. And the winner was Hazard in Canada, winning the race. He takes 50% of the votes for F4 best one-off race. And the very last award, obviously, is the best race in F4, which was Austria, the sprint race format, which came out trumps with 36.8%
I've
of the
got
votes. And that
France,
was
France and
F4 all done.
France and Britain.
Oh, it was Britain. Oh,
France
because
and
of the
Britain.
votes changing. But
Yeah.
I guess it was Britain who came out on top. But Austria, that means, or sorry, France. One of them must have later on got a few votes, but it was Britain that. France and Britain. Which one of
Yeah.
those?
I think maybe we should have closed the votes off before Ty's could do all the
Probably.
graphics. But anyway, this is a learning process. And I think that's it, is it? All the awards for FRL this season?
I believe so. 36,
Yep.
quite a lot.
Yeah. So a lot to get through, which we have finally done. Thank you to everyone that raced in FRL this season, or the 2 seasons that we had on this game. Yeah. Thank you to everyone who watched as well and subscribed to the channel, and thanks to you, Bunty, today for coming along and doing the award ceremony with me today.
Always a pleasure. No worries.
Thank you to all the commentators as well who have commentated on FRL this season and done a good job. Thank you to all the staff, as well. You know who you all are. Can't go through every single name, obviously, otherwise we'll be here all day. Thanks to all the drivers who raced in all the tiers to make FRL what it is, and hopefully next season you'll all be back on the new game and representing FRL in everything that you do, like esports events and racing against other leagues as well, which was a good event that we did the other week there for charity and stuff. But yeah, thanks to Bunty, like I've just said. Thank you all for watching today as well. And yeah, we'll just end the stream now. Season 15 is loading next week, and we shall see you with the next stream, which shall be in a few weeks' time, and we shall reveal the tiers, lineups, and calendars and stuff like that, and what the format will be for the new season. Keep to the Discord for the announcements on this exciting season 15 in FRL.